year after year. Is that something you can predict, and what causes it? Is it like an individual taking charge, or is it a collective? What turns a team around?
Yeah, I preach that all the time. That I use a lot of analogies with our team. Some of them, if I say baseball, some of them have never watched a baseball game in their lives. So they don't even know what I'm talking about. So I used one recently about, this is a time when it's like a horse race, and all the great thoroughbreds, when they go around that last turn, that's when they decide it's winning time. And an NCAA basketball season is kind of the same. Once the end of February starts to come around, now this is winning time. This is the time when you're going to be judged. Not what you do in November and December and January, but how you play in March is how you're going to go out. And if you're amazing in March, then you leave an unbelievable footprint. So it doesn't happen every year, but for us, it's happened more times than not. Let's put it that way.
Even a couple of your younger players seem to understand that, Anna and Albert.
Yeah, I hope so, because they're part of the future of where we're going, and they need to learn how to win championships. They need to learn what it feels like, and the responsibility that comes from it's on your shoulders. So when you check into the game, something has to happen. Something good has to happen. You have to have an impact on the game, and they both know that. And if you ask both of them, they'll probably say, "Well, that's why I went to Connecticut. I want to," and I remind them all the time, "This is why you came here, to play in these kinds of games, and this is when you're going to be at your best, because that's why you came here. If you were afraid to play in these games, you wouldn't have come here."
How important was it to let them celebrate a little bit too tonight?
Yeah, they should celebrate. That's what I told them after the game. They should celebrate. They should, because they accomplished something that's, that a whole bunch of other teams before them have. And I'm sure every day they come to practice, they look around in the building, on the walls, and see the players that played before them. They're reminded all the time of, how many championships we've won. And now they can say, yeah, well, I'm just like them. We accomplished the exact same thing. And they also understand how hard it was. This wasn't easy at all. Sometimes we make it look easy, but it wasn't easy at all. This one took a lot of work.
For all the ups and downs that the team has kind of gone through this season, even up to last night losing Kyla, was it just good to have, from going off that question, like them, just this team have a moment to have celebrate and to have fun and to be a little lighter? Like we saw Crystal look the happiest I've ever seen her in the locker room.
And it's especially true when you're a senior, because maybe some of the other years there's always time. I'll get the next one. When you get to be a senior at Connecticut, there is no next one. You got to get this one. And she should celebrate. Crystal's had a great run, and you don't want your senior year to end without the championship that's available right now is this one. So you got to have it. And I'm glad they enjoyed it. I'm glad they have fun, and now it's time to get back to work.
Thank you.
32 straight NCAA tournaments now. I know you 32. I know you're getting into that large no matter what tonight, but you get the automatic bid and know you're there. And I know I ask that every year too, but.
Well, yeah, I remember there was a time when the goal was to make the NCAA tournament, and it was really, really important that we do that. And then the goal was, we need to win a game in this tournament. That's 2 years in a row now we didn't win a game. And then, we got to go to the regionals. So there's always something. Now, we never start the season going, I hope we make the NCAA tournament. Those days are long gone. And now the goal here is to win a national championship. Some years it's so realistic that you don't even need the regular season. You just go play in March. Like, why waste everybody's time? Let's go play in March. I've coached some of those teams. This year wasn't that. This year was hard. And yet, at the same time, the expectation level here is you got to win a national championship. Whether it's realistic or not, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. As my mother says, that's what it is.
You say a lot, this time of year you need a player who can lift you up. You feel like Meg is becoming that player, or even Kristen showing glimpses of.
Yeah, at this, I think I've said this before. That there's a program-wide thing. There's a cultural thing that you have in your program that, if that's what the expectation level is, you can get to the NCAA tournament and maybe probably even to the Sweet 16, because your program just is built on that, and it's expected, and everybody knows it, and that's your program can just take all the players there. Once you start getting beyond the first and second round, then you better have one player on your team that is at another level. And, whether it's Meg, like she was this whole tournament, or Kristen, the way she was tonight. And I don't think one player can do it. I think if you look back on our championship teams, it hasn't been one person. It's one person doing a lot, but not without a lot of help. The only person that did a lot, did most of it, was Diana, when all those other guys graduated. And that's a unique situation.
You don't know exactly what clicked that day going to Cincinnati, what clicked that made them listen?
Maybe the fact that they were scared.
You were that scared?
That maybe they were scared. Maybe they were scared. It better happen right now, or it's not going to happen. And I'm not necessarily a scary guy, but I think they were a little bit afraid that day. They were a little bit afraid that day, which is good. Turned out good. They responded. Sometimes you challenge your team and they don't respond. They were really, really good that day, and they responded, and they just kept building on it. Kept building on it.
What did you tell them?
I didn't tell them anything. I didn't tell them anything. Really, I didn't have to say much. I didn't have to say hardly anything at all.
What'd you throw?
I didn't throw anything. I didn't throw anything either. I don't throw things. I don't throw people out of practice. I just don't. Hey, I'm older now. I'm wiser. I'm much more strategic in my approach. Not so emotional.
Can you get a tournament team like Aubrey did? Could that add something over the next, couple weeks?
Who knows? Who knows? I believe that in this particular season, I don't plan for anything. Whatever happened today, happened today. This is no indication that it's going to happen again tomorrow or next week. So every day is a new one. Every day is, let me wait and see what we got today. Let's see what we got today. And we can get Aubrey to be like she was this weekend, then we got something going. We got something going, because she can be a huge help, especially now that Kyla's not around. An experienced player that you can put in there, a ball handler, a shooter, somebody really smart, good passer. So,
Geno, back to Cincinnati, you were coming from Kobe's Memorial, I think. Was that weekend? I was just sort of wondering whether it was, I know it was an emotional time for you, whether it factored into what you told them. Or
yeah, no, it was. That week was a tough travel week for us, for me and CD, because we left Sunday, got there Sunday night. Monday was obviously not easy. Monday night was a red eye. Tuesday morning practice. Tuesday fly to Cincinnati, play in Cincinnati Wednesday, get home Wednesday night, Thursday day off, practice Friday, fly to Houston. And it was a really, really bad week. Really bad. And,
I'm sorry.
I don't
I was
know.
just wondering whether that, because it was
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where, some players just kind of, see things and they react. And It was good. It was good. I think they just became serious. I think our players just got serious and said, this is what we're going to have to do, or it's not going to end well. It's not going to end the way we want it to end. They finally admitted it. They finally admitted it to themselves. This is the way we have to play. Maybe it just took that much time. I don't know. Hard to say.
You've talked a lot about, I mean, each team is different, but how are you feeling going into this?
How am I feeling?
Yeah, NCAA tournament.
You know, the same way I felt coming into this tournament. You know, we're good enough to win a bunch of games. Are we good enough to win all the games? I don't know. No idea. I'm not going in with any expectations whatsoever. You know, I felt that way last year too. I said I don't think we have everything that it takes to win at this time of the year, and I felt that way the year before too. We can get lucky maybe just at the very end, but I don't think we've identified that guy or those two people that when we get to that last 2 games of the season, they definitely know what's going on here. I never kind of felt like that, but I always felt we get there. I always felt we get to the Final Four every year, leading those last 12 years. I would have been shocked if we didn't go. Mm-hmm. This year, it's not like that at all. Not like that at all.
Those last 2 guys, do you think do you have an idea of who they could be,
No.
or is it,
No,
could it
could
be?
be me. Could be Megan and Crystal.
Yeah.
Could be. Could be Megan, Crystal, and Kristen. Or it could be those 3 plus Olivia, the 4 guys that have been around the longest. Longest. The other 2 of them are sophomores. So.
Need a Wilnet Crockett.
Wilnet Crockett made 1 play in the NCAA tournament, and it was to win a national championship. She made 1 play. Dove, saved the ball, and rest is history.
Diana.